Okay, here we are. So lesson 15. Divide decimals using place value understanding, including remainders in the smallest unit. So now we're going to have remainders in our smallest units where we're going to have to regroup using the next place value unit. So let's take a look here. So they want us to draw place value disc on the place value chart, and then we're going to show each step in our standard algorithm. So we have 5/10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're splitting it into two groups. So if we have 5/10, so we have to split it into two groups. How many tenths would each group get? So we will be able to evenly distribute 4/10, and we would have 1/10 remaining. So now what we need to do is regroup this 1/10 as hundredths. Take our 1/10 here, move it over, but it's going to regroup as how many hundredths? Hopefully you said 1/10 regroups as 10 hundredths. If we were talking about money, 1/10 would be 1 dime. 1 dime is equivalent or equal to 10 pennies, tenths and hundredths. So 1/10 can be regrouped as 10 hundredths. Remember, if I had 1 dime or 1/10, I couldn't split it evenly by two people. I would have to get change or regroup my 1/10 as 10 hundredths, which would be 10 pennies. Alright, so now let's look here. I have 10 pennies. How many pennies can each person get? Hopefully you said each person can get 5 of those hundredths. If you look here, I had 10 hundredths when I regrouped, and then I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I say use, but what we did was we distributed to those two groups. We had our two groups, one group here and one group here. So each group is going to have 0 in the ones place, 2 in our tenths place, and 5 in our hundredths place. So looking at our standard algorithm, we see we have no ones. So let's jump in and start right from our tenths. We're going to use our steps. Does McDonald's sell burgers raw? Stands for division, multiplication, subtraction, bring down, and repeat. So now we have division. 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2. Multiply 2 times 2, 4. Now when I said 5 divided by 2, that means that I can evenly distribute 5 by 2 times. So I had 5 tenths. Those tenths were able to be distributed 2 to this group and 2 to this group. Of course, I had 1 remaining, and that's what we're going to see here with our subtraction. So then my multiplication, 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract. If you notice, I'm in my tenths place here. So now I have 5 tenths minus 4 tenths. Remember, I had started off with 5 tenths, and then I used 4. I gave 2 to this person and 2 to this person. So I have 1/10 remaining. That's my 1/10 remaining here. Now, what do I need to do? I can't stop here and say, well, okay, guys, that's it. We're finished. No, what I do is I add a 0. Remember, we're including remainders to our smallest unit. Our smallest unit was tenths, and we had a remainder. Now we had 1/10, but what did I have to do to that 1/10? We did our subtraction. Now it's time to bring it down. So now that 1/10 was regrouped as 10 hundredths. Now I'm out my hundredths place. This is my ones place, tenths place, hundredths place. So now I have 10 hundredths after I regrouped. That was my 10 hundredths that we regrouped from 1/10 here. And I say, well, how many times does 2 go into 10? Or 10 divided by 2, I know is 5. If I skip count by 2's, I would get to 10 on my 5th time count. So 2 times 1 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 times 5 is 10. I know that was my division. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Multiplication, 5 times 2 is 10. Subtraction, 10 minus 10 is 0. I am finished here. If you notice in standard algorithm, I came up with the same quotient that I came up with using my place value chart. So we have 8 and 1/10 divided by 5. So let's take a look here. First thing I'm going to look at is my ones place. I know that I have 5 groups, and 8 ones. So that's enough for each group to get 1 1. I used 5 of my ones, leaving 3 ones. If I did that same step, let's do that same first step on our standard algorithm. So for our decimal end, I have 8 divided by 5. Each group is going to get 1 for my division. Then I multiply 5 times 1 or 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Then I subtract. There's my 3 remaining. Hopefully you saw that. Each group got 1. We for a total of 5 used. And we subtracted and we have 3 remaining. Now with this 3 that's remaining, we need to regroup that. If I had $3 and I needed to get change so that I can give it to 5 students, I can go and get 10, 20, 30 dimes. So I have $3 that I'm changing into dimes. My ones are going to tenths, plus I already have 1/10. So watch this. If you look at your place value, your $3 is now going to transition over to dimes, and now I have 31 dimes. So this would be, here's my 3 ones that were regrouped or renamed as 30 dimes. Now I have 30 dimes or 30 tenths plus my 1/10 that I already had. Now that I regroup my 3 ones as 30 tenths, I can go ahead and distribute my 31 tenths, because I had 30 that were regrouped plus my 1. Same thing here, my 30 that was regrouped plus my 1 that was in my original problem. So let's go ahead, and we know that 5 groups of 6 is going to give us 30. So let's just go ahead and make that 5 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 here, and that gets rid of our 30 that we just brought over. So that's our 30, leaving us with 1/10 remaining. So we're going to do the same thing with that 1/10. We're going to regroup it as 10 hundredths. Let's go ahead and stop there and go with our standard algorithm. How many times does 5 go into 31? We know that 5 times 6 is 30. So that's our division and our multiplication. Now we're going to subtract. 31 minus 30 gives us 1/10 remaining. That was our 1/10 remaining here. Now we're going to regroup that 1/10 as what? You guessed it, 10 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hundredths. 1 dime or 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths or 10 pennies. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Now we know we have 10 and we're going to be divided by groups of 5. Don't forget here, this is where our objective comes in. Our smallest unit was tenths, but we had a remainder. So now we have to regroup, or in this case, standard algorithm, bring down to make that 1/10 turn into 10 hundredths. Now we have 10 hundredths divided by 5. I know that if I skip count by 5, so I get 5/10. That's 2 times. That's my, excuse me, I did my subtraction here. I subtracted 31 minus 30. I brought down my 0, and now I repeated that. Now I did my division when I said 10 divided by 5. And then multiplication, 2 times 5 is 10. And I get 0 remainder. Give each person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each person gets 2, or each group gets 2. And my quotient, each person gets 1 whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths. 1, 2, and 2 hundredths. That's how it would look on a standard algorithm. And this is how our place value chart with the number disk would look. Moving on. Now we're just solving using standard algorithm. We're going to go ahead and set these up. I know 0 in my ones place. How many times is 2 going to 7? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 would be too much, so 2, 4, 6. That's times 3. There we go. 6. Subtract 1 remaining. We'll bring down my hundredths. Now I have 10 hundredths divided by 2. It's going to be 5. That's my answer there. Same thing. 6, 3, and 9 tenths. I know that 39, I know 3 can't be divided by 6. So I have to say 39 tenths divided by 6. Remember, 3 and 9 tenths is the same thing as 39 tenths. If I skip count by 6, I would get 6 times 6 is 36. I subtract, I get 3. I need to bring down my hundreds place. So now I have 30, 6, I get 5. Alright, I know 4 goes into 9 2 times. Then I have 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm subtract, I get 1 left. So you can't put a 0 here without putting your decimal place. Remember, 9 and no tenths is equal to 9. Then I bring down my 0. 4 goes into 10. How many times? That's correct. Twice. I get 8. Do the subtraction. 20. Bring down my hundreds place. 4 goes into 20 5 times. And of course, in all of these cases, it will be minus whatever the number is to get 0. (92 hundredths) divided by 2. I know that 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down my 2. It's 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract from my 0. Don't forget your steps. Division, multiplication, subtraction, bring down, and repeat. Alright. Let's see here. 9 divided by 4. Don't forget to put your decimal in the correct place. Lining up my place value units. 9 divided by 4 is 2. 4 goes into 9 2 times without going over it. 2 times 4 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down my 4. 14 tenths divided by 4. 3 tenths. 3 times 4 is 12. Bring down my 2. I have a remainder. My smallest place value unit. That means I have to regroup that out to the hundredths. So now I have 20 hundredths divided by 4 gives me 5 hundredths. Alright. If you look at it like place value units and sometimes I'll say 20 hundredths, I know that this is in the hundredths place. Alright, the 0 was in the hundredths place. That's saying that I have 20 hundredths or 20 pennies that I'm dividing by 4, which gives you 5 pennies. So I look at it like my place value units instead of just a whole number. It kind of starts to make more sense. 91 divided by 8. I know that 8 goes into 9 one time. If I had 9 tens, I can evenly distribute 1 10 to each of the 8 people. I would have 1 10 remaining. If I had to distribute 1 10 by 8 people, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would have to go get change, and then I would have 11 ones when I regroup that. So now I have 11 $1 bills. I can give out 8 of those. So now I give out 8 bills. This case is $1 bills. 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract 8, 9, 10, 11. Get 3. Now I have $3 remaining. I cannot give $3 bills out to 8 people. So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to go get change. I go and regroup by bringing down my 0 in my tenths place. Now I have 30 tenths. 30 tenths. That's 30 dimes. I can distribute 30 dimes. If I was to skip count or do my multiples of 8, 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 would be 16. 8 times 3 would be 24. 8 times 4 will be 32. I know that I cannot go up to 32 because that's too high, so I have to use my 24. 8 times 3, I get 24. Do my subtraction, I get 6. So now I have 6 tenths remaining. I gave out 24 tenths. I can't split those 6 tenths by 8 people, so I need to get change or regroup, and now I have 60 hundredths. My 60 hundredths or my 60 pennies I can divide by 8, and if you skip count, we know that 8 times 7 gives us 56. If we go any higher, we're going to go over that 60. 7 times 8, we said is 56. Do our subtraction, we get 4. We also know that we're going to bring down our thousands place now. We had hundreds, 4 hundredths remaining. We're going to turn those 4 hundredths into 40 thousandths. Now we know that we have 5 times 8 equals 40 to finish up our problem. A rope 8 7/10 meters long is cut into 5 equal pieces. How long is each piece? So we know that the rope is 8 7/10 long, and we're splitting it into 5 even groups. We know that we can get 1 meter in each piece, and then we're going to figure out how many parts of a meter. So we would have 3 meters left. We can bring down our 7/10. Now we have 37/10 of a meter. So we say, well, 5 goes into 37 7 times. Now we're going to do our subtraction. So now we have 2 remaining. We're going to bring down our next place value units, which would be our hundredths here. So now we have 20 hundredths divided by 5, which would give us 4 hundredths. So we have 4 times 5 is 20. Do the subtraction, we come up with 0. We know that how long will each piece be? Each piece is 174 meters long. All right, moving on to the next problem. So Yasmin bought 6 gallons of apple juice. After filling up 4 bottles of the same size with apple juice, she had 3/10 of a gallon of apple juice left. How many gallons of apple juice were in each container? We need to figure out how much she used and then divide it by 3. So we know she had 6 gallons of apple juice. Then when she was finished filling up the bottles, she had 3/10 remaining. So I need to find out the difference between these two numbers in order to find out what number I need to divide by the 4 bottles. So let's do the subtraction. I know I'm going to regroup, take one of my whole numbers and make it into 5/10 because I need to subtract 0 from 3 and I can't do that. So I had to borrow a whole or regroup a whole. And now I have 10/10 minus 3 equals 7/10 and 5. So now we know that she used 5 gallons and 7/10 of a gallon in the containers. How many containers did she have? She had 4. So we're going to take this number and divide it by 4 to find out each gallon. 5 and 7/10 divided by 4. We know that it's 1 whole gallon in each jug, and she had 1 gallon remaining, and still 7/10 remaining. So we can turn that 1 gallon and 7/10 into 17/10. So our regrouping, right? We regroup that 1 gallon as 10/10 of a gallon. All right, so now we have how many times does 4 go into 17? I know 4 times 4, so it's 4, 8, 12, 16. 4 times 4 would be 16, and I would have 1/10 remaining. So now I'm going to take it out to the hundredths place, change my 1/10 of a gallon into 10 hundredths of a gallon. So I know 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to do my subtraction. I get 2 hundredths of a gallon remaining. Now I need to regroup that or rename it. Name that as 20 in my thousandths place. And then I know that I can divide that evenly into 5 groups, 5 thousandths of a gallon per group. That would be it. So my answer would be 1/425 thousandths of a gallon in each container. So there it is. That first problem was from our problem set, but the rest are from your homework. Hopefully you were able to complete that. If not, please see me in class so that we can go over everything again and work out any difficulties. Thank you.